All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2023 Yale Innovation Summit. My name's Josh Geballe. I'm the Managing Director of Yale Ventures, and we are absolutely delighted to welcome you here to the Yale School of Management. While this is our 9th Yale Innovation Summit, this year is going to be like no other. This event's roots are in bioscience innovation, and this summit will provide our largest ever gathering of Yale innovators focused on developing the therapies that will cure diseases and improve human health. But as the scope and impact of Yale innovation has grown across other domains, we're excited that this year's summit has also grown to reflect that diversity. And we're thrilled to provide new tracks this year featuring innovators in technology, including AI and machine learning, quantum computing, robotics, trustworthy computing, and more. Another track features climate technologies that will help decarbonize our economy and protect our planet. A fourth track focuses on health, from digital health to public health to healthcare delivery. And finally, our fifth track is focused on the arts. Yes. Where we'll learn about innovations in developing and financing projects and we'll even get to enjoy some amazing live performances, as you can see over here on stage. In each track, you'll have the opportunity to learn from expert panels and see pitches from over 100 ventures and entrepreneurs who are competing for $215,000 in prizes. And these ventures range from very early stage, even pre-seed concepts, all the way through to, we have 5 companies presenting that have already IPO'd and have products either in the clinic or in some cases actually in the market already. You'll also meet and network with over 2,500 people who have registered for this event, including over 300 investors and over 600 industry partners. For those of you who are visiting us from out of state, I really encourage you to take a look around the city while you're here. New Haven is enjoying an entrepreneurial renaissance. While the national headlines reflect some of the challenges that many cities are facing, New Haven is booming, with significant commercial and residential developments breaking ground on what seems like a weekly basis. These investments are being driven by large corporations and international developers who are coming into New Haven making major commitments. And it's clear that New Haven is becoming a globally recognized hub of innovation. And against that backdrop, Yale Ventures is working to further open the floodgates of new ideas and discoveries from our research labs and the thousands of faculty and students at Yale who are focused on solving the big challenges facing humanity. Just in our first year, Yale Ventures has launched new programs, we've forged new collaborations, we've updated policies, and we've added events to support our entrepreneurs who are determined to improve the world. And that brings us together here at the 2023 Yale Innovation Summit, where we'll spend the next 2 days learning, pitching, investing, entertaining, and connecting. We're so grateful that you're here to join us. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dean Kerwin Charles, who joined Yale in 2019 as the Indra K. Nui Dean and Frederick V. Wolf Professor of Economics, Policy, and Management at the Yale School of Management. Previously, he was the Edwin A. and Betty L. Bergman Distinguished Service Professor at the University of Chicago. He has studied and published on a range of topics, including earnings and wealth inequality, conspicuous consumption, race and gender labor market discrimination, health and the labor market, the effects of housing booms and busts, and non-employment in the economy. Among other professional duties, he recently served as the Vice President of the American Economics Association, as a research associate at the National Bureau of Economic Research, is an elected fellow of the Society of Labor Economics, a fellow of the American Academy of Political and Social Science, and an elected fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. Most importantly for today, he is our generous host here at SOM. Please join me in welcoming Dean Charles.
Good afternoon, friends. Let me welcome you to the Yale Innovations Summit here at the Yale School of Management. I'm absolutely delighted that the summit is being held and hosted physically by SOM, the School of Management. The summit that you're attending has become the largest gathering devoted to discussing entrepreneurial matters here at Yale. That's noteworthy because every year, entrepreneurship broadly construed becomes an ever more increasing concern among our students and faculty. And so you were at a summit that is one of the biggest things related to entrepreneurship here at the school. It's being hosted at the school, is representative of the partnership that the school enjoys with my friend Josh Geballe and Yale Ventures, Sci-City, etc. And so to be able to reflect that partnership by hosting it here pleases me immensely. The summit will represent the largest gathering of venture capital investors in Connecticut. That's pretty cool. It has been mentioned in the introduction, I'm a labor economist, and my scholarly work, much of it, has been devoted to thinking about employment, wage growth, jobs, socioeconomic disadvantage, and movement therefrom. Both the scholarly work I have done and the casual work that I encounter in my own experience confirms for me something I do not have to tell you, namely, the importance of entrepreneurship and innovation in driving economic growth and job growth, whether we're speaking of national changes in those outcomes, regional changes, changes in states, or importantly, the growth and labor market vibrancy of local communities like New Haven. At SOM, we have a particularly distinctive mission and aspiration. We say that at the school, our goal is to train and produce innovative leaders and entrepreneurs who, through their work, will transform business and society. We say, business and society. That twin ambition is consistent with Yale's broader aspirations to harness the resources here at this university to help transform humankind for the better. We believe what we're doing at the School of Management is consistent with that mission and with that grand aspiration. So the summit speaks directly to this business and society twinning, pairing, to which I have referred. Why do I say that? Gathered here among us today are persons drawn from multiple industries and sectors. I listened to what Josh said. There among you, persons from the healthcare center, persons from the arts, persons working on climate and tech, yes? Different aspects of society that's consistent with our mission. Not only do you come from different sectors and industries, you play different roles within them. Yeah? There are persons here from corporations. They're representatives of government. Nonprofits are to be found here. And importantly, we have persons from the academy as well. I want to thank you all for coming. I'm hopeful that you will find the summit to be incredibly inspiring and fun and all of the other adjectives that Josh mentioned. I've already taken up too much time. All I was supposed to do was to introduce the president of Yale, my dear friend and boss, Peter Soloway. Thanks for that.
Well, thank you, Dean Charles. I appreciate that. And good afternoon, everyone. It really gives me great pleasure today to be here to introduce our first guest, and that is Governor Ned Lamont. Some of you may be aware that this is the final week of the legislative session, and so I'm particularly grateful that the governor was able to step away and join us this afternoon. Before I ask him to come to the stage, though, I want to share with you why his visit to our campus is so important and so significant, particularly here at Yale. Governor Lamont is more than an eminent Yale alumnus, although he is that. He's also an outstanding partner to us. His belief that higher education enriches opportunities for students across the state of Connecticut, including here on our campus, has been key. Recently, last month, he announced a joint initiative with Yale and our Tobin Center for Economic Policy. This includes policy about education, but also many other topics as well. In the spirit of that education collaboration, he is promoting STEM learning for young people in elementary, middle, and high school, and we are trying to help out as well. But a hallmark of Governor Lamont's excellent leadership is his steadfast commitment to innovation. And obviously that has become a priority for this university, and that is why you're all here today. When he was inaugurated first as governor, he called for Connecticut, these are his words, to return to our inventive and entrepreneurial roots, for our future lies in doubling down on what makes us great and reimagining our unique potentials. Well, that ambition can be supported through Yale Ventures, and we're delighted to be its host. Established last April, Yale Ventures is the umbrella group here at Yale for innovation and entrepreneurship, including the host of this summit. Scores of startups have been taken root in New Haven, benefiting from Yale IP. If we begin the time frame a few years back, there have been 70 startups based on Yale IP, and they've raised over $5.4 billion in capital. I guess that's a 7-year window. As of 2022, Yale faculty members have nearly 2,000 active patents around the globe. So it's important to think about universities like Yale, but other research universities as well, as strengtheners of their local economy, as bringing research to market to improve lives. Now, in a short period of time, a building at 101 College Street will open, and that will be the future home of Yale Ventures, as well as a variety of companies being incubated in that space. And the space, and building across the street from it, really represents physically this innovation hub that our city is growing. It's mostly been around biotech, but it doesn't have to only be around biotech. Well, at the groundbreaking of that building at 101 College Street, Governor Lamont was there, and I was pleased to join with him in a project that you now can see. You can see the fruits of it. The building is, at least the shell of the building is basically up, and they're doing the fit out now. Well, Governor Lamont has served communities throughout Connecticut, not just as our governor, but as a business founder, as a volunteer teacher, and through multiple roles he's played in public service. He is a member of the Yale School of Management class of 1980, and he became the 89th governor of Connecticut in 2019. The startup ecosystem that you see in our state is in large part motivated by Governor Lamont's policies. He has recorded record budget surpluses. He's filled the state's rainy day fund. He delivered tax cuts. He paid down billions of dollars in debt early. He's modernizing state government. All of this contributes to a business climate that is conducive to investment, while at the same time maintaining the social safety net that characterizes states like ours. So I want to join all of you in thanking him for coming today and welcoming him to the stage, Governor Ned Lamont. Thank you, my pleasure.
All right, Freddie Mercury, I love it. Hey, right back at you, Peter. Yale is really important to the economic future of the state. That's one reason I keep coming back here. The research and the entrepreneurial energy that we're trying to recapture is invaluable. Just bring things full circle. I'm the first business guy to lead the state in many a generation. I started up a telecom business. My wife is a venture capitalist, so we're all in. My wife's a venture capitalist. One of the early investments she made was in Josh Geballe's company. Josh Geballe took that successfully. Then he was looking for something to do. I made him chief operating officer of the state of Connecticut. He helped lead us through COVID better than I think most other states. And now he is... We kept things open safe. We kept things open safely, and we had tens of thousands of new families moving into the state of Connecticut. And that's not the way it always was. As Peter said, we had lost a little bit of our entrepreneurial juice going back in time. We were the startup state of the country. We had Eli Whitney and Igor Sikorsky and Mr. Pratt and Mr. Whitney. And a lot of that growth and opportunity there. And that flattened out over the last, couple of generations. A lot of manufacturing was going overseas, less startups. We were not at the forefront of the computer science revolution, but that's changed. And that's changed in part thanks to what's going on here at Yale Innovations, New Haven, and beyond. And we've had more new business startups in the last few years than we've had in the last 30 years combined. And we're just getting started. As I came into office, I was a business guy, and I looked at the state a little like that, and I said, look, we're like a very over-leveraged company. We have tons of pension debt. Our fixed costs are going like that, and our revenues are quite volatile, but not in the right direction. I just figured the first thing I got to do is get our fiscal house in order. And as Peter generously said, we did that the first couple of years. We didn't raise taxes. The first time that had happened in 20 years. Usually that's the go-to. And we did everything we could to get this economy start growing again. And we were growing pretty well up, until COVID. And that growth meant a couple of things. That meant that, look, there's no such thing as a free lunch, but economic growth is pretty close. And that was just invaluable for us. We made one change that other states ought to consider. Our revenue stream is quite volatile, so we have something called the volatility index. And rather than when the FANG stocks are going through the roof, don't spend up to that peak. Take that and put that into the rainy day fund, put that into pensions. So we have been able to pay down about 15% of our outstanding pension liability. We still got a way to go. I'm not putting up the mission accomplished sign on the aircraft carrier. We're the tallest guy in the pygmy colony, but we are making progress. And I think that's what I want you to realize. My job is to do everything I can to convince you that Connecticut's a good place for you to be, one of the great education institutions and systems in the country. And that's what I've tried to do with our investments. I mean, you got to figure out what your strengths are as a company, and you got to figure out what your strengths are as a state. And look, it's easy being governor of Florida. You just resell sunshine to tourists. Or being in Texas, you can put a tax on oil and gas. But the most important resource in the world right now is talent. And there, thanks to Yale University and some of our other great educational institutions, we're a world beater. And we're maximizing our advantages there, and that's what this event is all about. I look around the state, we had some old finance down there in the greater Stamford area, and the UBS building was empty, and woe was us. And now that's the hub of fintech, and that's DCG, Digital Currency Group, and Indeed, and a lot of the Atomo, and a lot of the online startups are coming on there and moving right down I-95. Up in the southeast part of the state is manufacturing. But we don't make simple stuff. That can all go elsewhere. We make the most sophisticated machines in the world, like submarines, like F-35 jet engines, and further south in Stratford, Sikorsky. And those are good, strong anchor tenants for a state. I look at where do we get strong recurring cash flows? If you're in the business, know how important that is. And those are 10, 15-year defense contracts continuing to grow and expand. But it's right here at Yale, it's right here with this Innovation Summit that our fastest growth is going on in and around, I'd say in particular, the life sciences. And here, Yale is a world beater. And here we're second to none. When it comes to everything from quantum computing, the neuroscience, and artificial intelligence, we are going to be a leader and taking advantage of the skills that we have here at the university and beyond. And hopefully a growing venture capital community as well. We put you together with opportunities and resources. And my job is to make sure you have the talent. If I said, if talent is the most important natural resource we've got right now, we're taking all the resources we can, putting that not just into higher ed, not just into research, but putting that into workforce development. So every business is thinking about the state of Connecticut. I don't lead with big incentives. I say, what is the talent you need? Let us help grow that. I do that in association with Yale or Hill House High School or UConn, and we put together the programs we need and play to our advantages. So we're in pretty good position. You know, I wouldn't trade places with any other state right now, but you never know what the future will bring. There's a lot of things out of our control. I look at, you know, Vladimir Putin, and I look at the debt ceiling and what that crisis could be to a governor, and you got to make sure you're prepared for things. I look at what the Federal Reserve could be doing with interest rates. You've got a speaker coming up named Larry Summers. And this is going to be must-see TV. You got to watch this. When Jeff Sonnenfeld and Larry Summers are banging heads in a constructive way, that's going to be amazing. And I talked to Larry some time ago. I said, Larry, this is how we're positioned. I got a $3.5 billion in cash in a rainy day fund. We're cutting taxes. I think we're prepared, doing everything I can to keep the economy going. What do you expect? Is this going to be a hard landing or a soft landing? And Larry, who's not known for his infectious optimism, said a soft landing is like second marriages, the triumph of hope over experience. Okay? I just want to get you energized for that discussion coming up. I can only control the things that I control. I love being here in the state of Connecticut. If you come out of the business world, being a governor is amazing. You can make a difference. I'd like to think we're making a difference every day here in Connecticut. And I want you to take a second look at this state. And those of you who are here, stay and grow your business here, invest in Connecticut. And those of you who are just visiting, you don't know what you're missing. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, buddy.
Moving for our afternoon sessions. Before we do, a couple announcements. We want to thank our incredible sponsors who make this event possible. Our platinum sponsors, Alexion, Biohaven, Boehringer Ingelheim, Connecticut Innovations. Our gold sponsors, Biolabs, District, JP Morgan Chase, FML, Royalty Pharma, Saul Ewing, Shipman Goodwin, Wigan & Dana, and Wilson Sonsini. As a reminder, you can, if you didn't get your program when you came in, you can scan the QR code that's about to pop up on the screen with the phone on your camera, and you'll get your schedule right on your phone there. So there's now going to be 6 events we're going to split up. If you are staying for the arts track keynote, that will be here. These instruments will be used. I will say, as having worked for the governor for 3 years, I've never seen him that close to a piano and not sit down and start playing it. So whoever's playing the piano, watch out. You may get elbowed off the stage. Just beware. Be on the lookout. But if you're going to any of the other sessions, you can head to that. As the governor mentioned, we'll be back here at 3:30 for the keynote that Professor Sonnenfeld is going to lead. From there will be a reception in the courtyard that will move into dinner, and then back here for the live arts showcase this evening. So go enjoy, have a great time. Thanks again for being here.